Here's the complete story on why I stopped gaming Japanese girls. This video that you've probably seen, if you haven't, go check it out. It completely blew up my channel in a way I didn't expect. And I actually got in trouble for making that. More on that later. What you don't know is these clips are actually from 4 years ago. I used to do this on the weekends, sometimes for up to 8 hours a day, and I got pretty good at it. And my original purpose for doing it is not what you might expect. I was extremely introverted to the point where communication with people was very difficult, yet alone women, and it was very hard for me to make friends. When I moved to Japan in 2019, I was in my mid-20s, and I thought this is a perfect time to reinvent myself in all aspects of life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. But what connects all of these together is confidence. I wanted to build confidence. Most guys have a fear of approaching women no matter where you are. And I was one of those guys. And that's when I met this one Japanese guy who I simply call Coach. He taught me how to get rid of my illogical fears. He taught me how the tonality of my voice actually plays a huge role when talking to people. He taught me how to dress, how to stand up straight. He taught me how to not second guess my original decision. And most importantly, he taught me game. He's the one who actually shot this video of me. More on that later. He told me that game wasn't about getting women. It wasn't about getting her number or her becoming your girlfriend. It's about you going after what you want, unapologetically and without excuses.
Free your mind.
And over time, my brain realized that those illogical fears were foolish and they totally went away. I had reinvented myself. Once I reached this point in my life, I looked at it and I had a girlfriend who didn't care what I did as long as I treated her correctly. And I had a reg, short for regular, and that's a girl who just wants you for you know what. And I was still gaming girls every single weekend. And it got to the point where I had 3 girls in 1 week. And I thought to myself, this is the height. This is what a lot of guys dream of. And the guy I used to game with, he put his arm around me and said, imagine if you had 7 in 1 week. But I didn't actually want that. I originally went after this for the confidence. I no longer cared about the rejections. And you know, Japanese women don't reject you in the same way as American women do. But when you get to the model level and you start talking to models, the rejections get American, if you know what I mean. But I didn't care. So I had gained everything that I ever wanted. But then I looked at my bank account and it was actually 0 because I was focused on the wrong thing. I wasn't balanced. So I took the same things that I learned from gaming and applied it to business. And with a full-time job, I actually made an extra $40,000 that year.
Here in my garage, just bought this new Lamborghini here.
And I was able to write and direct my first film, and I'm gonna release a trailer and a short film version of it on this channel. And all of this was done after I stopped gaming. And something magical happened when I started to apply my efforts in other places in life. When it came to women, I got more. And I didn't have to chase them for 8 hours a day to do it. It was great. I had then health, wealth, love, and happiness. So what do you do when you actually have more women? You don't have the time because you're focused on business and other things in life. So you pick one and you give it a shot. Now, with that said, after I made this crazy video, a lot of people reported me and YouTube emailed me about the contents of my video. But the point of the video, it wasn't to shame Japanese women or Japanese society. It was simply to break the illusion people had about Japan. Every time you see Japan, you always see it being a technological super place, right? Where everything is weird, strange, and almost perfect. And it's just not like that. You know, but you guys seem to like that content. So for more crazy stories and all the video footage you could want, I actually created a Patreon where I can release that content and not get penalized for it. The link is in the first pinned comment of this video. Now, as for the content of this channel moving forward, I want to thank all of you guys for voting in the community tab on your likes and dislikes, because I'm going to blow your mind with what's coming next. You want to see Japanese women? I got you. You want to see their cute side? You want to see how feminine you are? You want them to talk to you? You want all that stuff? I can do that on this channel. Now, for the Patreon content, let's talk about some things that are actually going to be shown on there. Number 1, and there's a way of talking to Japanese women that's a little different. Well, let's just say a lot different than America or any other Western country. Think of it as like a Hollywood movie personified in real life.
No, I don't think I will kiss you.
Although you need kissing badly. That's what's wrong with you. You should be kissed and often, and by someone who knows how.
In the Patreon, we will go over that. Number 2, we're going to talk about your ideal of your Japanese girlfriend or wife that you want, and we're going to talk about how to actually get her. The idea that most of you guys have is you want to marry a Japanese woman and take her back to your country and hope she stays the same. Firstly, the reason why she's feminine and submissive and all the cute things you like about her is the society she lives in. It has a lot to do with Japanese culture as a whole, and it also has to do with her Japanese father. And if you take her out of that environment, she's going to change somewhat. So it's actually best to stay in Japan while being married to a Japanese wife. Let's say you don't care and you want to do it anyway. Let's break down statistics. There's only about 30% of the entire population of Japan that can speak English. Half of that is the women, so it's about 15%. And a smaller amount actually want to live outside of Japan and actually want to marry a foreigner. So that leaves you about 7% of the total population of women that are even willing to do that. Don't believe the interviews you see on YouTube. They're leading questions, and if you stick a camera in almost any woman's face, she's going to tell you what you want to hear. You know, they're not going to be totally honest and upfront with you all the time. You know, if you ask them, would you date a foreigner? And she knows that this video is going to go on YouTube or some platform like that, she's not going to say no.
In terms of dating, right? Would you date a black man? Do you like black men? Would you date a black man if he's kind to you? If he wants to get to know you more? Would you date a black man?
Black man? Difficult, depend on the person.
Right? And rarely do any of them ever say no. They're gonna lie to you. Pretty much. It's best if you find a woman who has studied abroad and has lived in another country at least for 4 years for studying, and she's more willing to do those things. But there are certain parties here with Japanese women who come to those parties to date and marry foreign men, and those are